quick book tag. I'm parroting it with my review of the Netflix adaptation of Bird Box. So the tag I'm doing today is the Netflix tag. The original, I believe, was done on the channel A Darker Side of Whitney. I'll include a link for the channel in the description below if you want to check out her original video. I'll also include the prompts should you choose to do this yourself. I don't usually do the tagging step. I don't have really a large enough following or enough interaction with some of the other channels to really justify just randomly tagging people. So if you want to do this, consider yourself tagged by me. First prompt, recently watched. What is the last book you finished reading? At the time of filming this, it is The Husband's Secret by Leanne Moriarty. That'll probably change come the time this is posted, but we're going with when I wrote the script. Prompt 2, top picks. A book or books that have been recommended to you based on a book you've previously read. I'm going to cheat a little bit here because the answers for this and the next question are going to be the same. I use a book service called My TBR. I give them access to my Goodreads list, and I fill out this gigantic survey of books I've loved, books I've read, things I love, things I hate, etc. And they give me books based on this. So, I recently bought 3 of these books. I bought Semiosis by Sue Burke because I really enjoy interesting, first contact situations with aliens, and I'm a huge sci-fi fan. I got Diamond Doris, the true story of the world's most notorious jewel thief, by Doris Payne. This is a nonfiction about a woman who was one of the most successful jewel thieves of all time. She was a Black woman who was doing this in, I think it was the 50s. So I'm really excited to see, how she took advantage of stereotypes to her advantage, I guess. And then 3 is a short story collection called Never Have I Ever by Isabel Yap. I've been really enjoying some darker fantasy lately even though I don't necessarily always love grimdark fantasy. And because I really enjoyed the Shanann Maguire's Wayward Children series, this short story recommendation was given to me. I have not picked them up yet, but I am excited to because of why they were recommended to me by this service, which leads me to number 3, recently added. Name the last book you bought. I bought 3 at once. It was the books I said in the last question: Diamond Doris, Semiosis, and Never Have I Ever. I bought them all at the same time. They were delivered all at the same time. Pretty straightforward. Prompt 4, popular on Netflix. Name books that everyone seems to know about. 2 that you've read and 2 that you either have not read or do not intend to read. I'll start with the ones that I have read. I recently finished Lore by Alexandra Bracken. I know a lot of people have talked really positively about this book. I read it and I was mildly underwhelmed. It was still good. It just wasn't a 5-star for me. The second one that I've heard less people, but still lots of people talk about, is Claire and the Sun by Kazuo Ishiguro. The front half of the book was super charming. The back half was started to drag. Again, very interesting read. This one I'd actually recommend if you enjoy the premise of the book, which is AI learns human emotions, but not well. And then for the 2, I'm going to name one that I have not read and one that I intend to not read. I'll start with the haven't book. That is The House by the Cerulean Sea. I do have that book. I'm not going to pick it up right away. I'm actually going to wait and see if the reading circle I've started with my mom and sister if they want to read it, so I'll read it with them rather than by myself. And then the never will I read would be really anything by Sarah J. Maas. It's not even necessarily I think she's terrible. I think because I've never read anything by her. I think I missed the bus on being the appropriate audience for those books. So I just haven't had a desire to pick them up. And everybody talks about them. Prompt 5, comedies. Name a funny book. I struggled with this one, but not because I couldn't think of a comedy book, which is what I was expecting. but had an issue picking which one I would pick. So I went with 2, which is cheating a little bit. First one I'm going to do is All Systems Red by Martha Wells. It's about a mercenary robot who really just is anti-social, or like has social anxiety and loves soap operas. And the other book I'm going to read or recommend is Minecraft The Island by Max Brooks, which is a guy waking up, discovering he's part of the Minecraft world, and like not understanding why the world looks the way it does and why interacting with things works the way it does. Very funny. I quite enjoy Max Brooks. And that leads me to 6. Name a book with a drama queen or king. Or name a character in a book. Whatever. I'm going to go with Madeline from, what was it called? Big Little Lies by Liane Moriarty. This is just the one that came to mind the quickest because I read it recently, and yeah, she's a little over the top. Question 7, animated. Pick a book with cartoons on the front cover. This took me so much longer than it should have because I've read a bunch of manga that has anime to go with it. So I went with One Punch Man because all the covers are heroes we meet in the story, and they're all drawn like they are in the cartoon or in the anime. Number 8, watch it again. Pick a book or book series that you want to reread. I will always and forever say Pride and Prejudice. It is my number 1 reread. I read it once or twice every year without fail. I'm due for another read through. I will probably read it on my holidays coming up. Question 9 is Documentaries. Pick a nonfiction book that you think everybody should read. I think anybody that has an interest in nonfiction, especially about life-changing things, should read The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks, but I believe it's written by Rebecca Skloot. I personally, it's involved in a lot of things that my career is based around, so I always found it really interesting. It's about the life of a woman who had some samples taken from a tumor, and they ended up being developed into this immortal cell line that's used for all kinds of medical research across the world. And it is the most prolific cell line ever, and she and her family never got compensation for those samples being taken or for the use of the cells. And this is a book about her life, the life of the cells. It's amazing. Hands down, one of the best nonfiction books I've ever read. Which leads me into 10, action and adventure. Name an action-packed book. This one I went with Invasive by Chuck Wendig, because outside of a kind of dumb sexual decision that the main character made, not because I think making sexual decisions is dumb, but the decision had didn't really do anything with her character, the story, or anything else. It would just had her sleeping with this guy. Anyways, it was action-packed. It was science-y. Female protagonist. Capable but not weirdly superhuman like you get in a lot of action movies. Highly recommend it. And that lets me go on to 11. Which is new releases. Name a book that was recently released or will be released soon that you were excited to pick up. I'm gonna go with The Gilded Ones. I've only just started it with my mom and my sister with our little reading circle that we've got going, where we have video calls and read to a couple chapters out loud to each other every week. And I'm really excited to continue with it, and I'm only so far in the book, so nothing's really happened yet. I'm really excited to finish it. And with that, I will leave you here. Once again, the original tag was done by A Darker Side of Whitney, or Darker Shade of Whitney. I can't remember for sure. Link will be in the description below. Check out her video. Definitely worth the time, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.